A closer look at the cross-cutting concepts. In this session, our goals are to understand the cross-cutting concepts as one of the dimensions of the NGSS, and to become aware of how the cross-cutting concepts may be used to deepen the understanding of science and engineering. Cross-cutting concepts. Students need to be explicitly taught how to use the terms so that they can be used throughout their education. Cross-cutting concepts are found in all the science disciplines and in engineering. They can also carry over into other disciplines like social studies and math. Cross-cutting concepts are for all students. CCC raised the bar for students who have not achieved at high levels in academic subjects and often are assigned to classes that focus on the basics, which in science provide primarily factual information and lower order thinking skills. It is essential that all students engage in using CCC, which can result in leveling the playing field and providing deeper understanding for all students. The 7 cross-cutting concepts are: number 1, patterns; number 2, cause and effect; number 3, scale, proportion, quantity; number 4, systems and system models; number 5, energy and matter; number 6, structure and function; and finally 7, stability and change. Patterns. Patterns is the first CCC. We know that patterns are found everywhere. Scientists need to recognize and find patterns because they help to make sense of nature, like the changing of the seasons. Patterns can be found in different forms like shapes, structures, and events. They are important in both science and engineering. In science, patterns initiate questions. They explain why something happens that way or why it exists. Patterns lead to better explanations and scientific theories. In engineering, patterns are used to improve design. Tests are run over and over again to see if there's a pattern in their failure. The progression of the cross-cutting concept patterns can be found in Appendix G of the NGSS. Here are several examples of patterns. The first one here is, there are patterns that tell us the seasons are changing. Phases of the moon follow a predictable pattern. Patterns in bones can help tell which animals are related to one another. Cause and effect. Cause and effect is innate in humans. From a young age, we want to know why something occurs. In science, cause and effect explain causal relationships, why things happen. And in engineering, it's a little different. We want to be in control of the cause so that we can also control the effect. Let's take a look at some examples. Number 1, many diseases are caused by harmful organisms. Here, a nerve impulse is sent when a brain cell receives electrochemical signals. Do increasing carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere cause temperatures to rise? Scale, proportion, and quantity. Scale, proportion, and quantity help us understand how nature is different when we study the very large and the very small. Let's take a look at several examples. Scale affects how living things interact with their environment. You can estimate how many needles are on a large Jeffrey pine, maybe about 10 million. The sun is only one of 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Systems and system models. Defining the system under study, specifying its boundaries, and making explicit a model of that system, providing tools for understanding and testing ideas that are applicable through the science and engineering. In systems, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Nature is complex and confusing. Thinking about systems and making system models can help you make sense of it. Here are several examples. The water cycle is a global system that interacts with many other systems. Hot and cold water with food coloring is used to model convection. An electrical circuit is a simple system that is easy to change the variables in. Energy and matter. Energy and matter change forms but are not created or destroyed. Energy flows and matter cycles through the natural system. Tracking fluxes of energy and matter into, out of, and within systems help to understand the system's possibilities and limitations. Let's take a look at several examples. A star is born when it begins to convert matter into energy through nuclear fusion. Conservation of mass means that atoms are not created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Instead, the atoms are rearranged to form new substances with new properties. In recycling, the matter gets used again and less energy is used to make new things. Structure and function. The way in which an object or living thing is shaped and its substructure determine many of its properties and functions. How things are shaped and put together determines what they do. Triangular braces make this tower stronger. A fish has body parts that help it swim, eat, see, and breathe. The condor's wing is exquisitely adapted for soaring. The last cross-cutting concept is stability and change. For natural and built systems, conditions of stability determines the rate of change or evolution of a system are critical. In nature, some things stay the same and some things change. Changes can be fast or slow. Let's take a look at these examples. Plate tectonics builds up mountains. Weathering and erosion tear them down. Balance is complex and involves many forces interacting. The finches on Galapagos Islands are adapted to different environments and lifestyles, but all descended from a common ancestor.